This is Rakiyah Lenon, Editor-in-Chief of the Bell Ringer. Welcome to another episode of Chiming In, a production of Bell Ringer Phoenix Media. Today is May 6, 2024. Now, this is a slightly bittersweet episode because it is my last one as editor of the Bell Ringer, but today you'll get to meet Makenzy Veldboom. Makenzy is a senior communication major at Augusta University, and she is taking over as editor of our student newspaper. So we're excited for all that she has planned, and we kind of want to know a little bit more about her. So welcome to the show, Makenzy.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am, like you said, a communication major. I'm working on a certificate in media production as well. So my kind of thing is like video work and of course, building up like writing skills and stuff. I really just like sharing stories creatively and that kind of thing.
Okay, awesome. And so tell me about your journey to AU. Are you from here originally, Augusta, or no?
So I'm from Burke County, which is like 50 minutes south of here. So kind of, but like Augusta was like the kind of place where we would go if we're going to Target or like we're going to the movies, because we don't have that in my hometown. We have Walmart and like Food Line. But yeah, I'm not from here, but I know a lot of people that went here. My mom went here, and I heard of this school, and I actually started off as a Spanish major.
Oh, interesting.
And then I think it was my sophomore year, I just realized I wanted to do something more broad. As much as I love language learning, I wanted to do something more like broad that I could do a lot of things with. So I changed my major to communications.
And with communication, you definitely can do a ton of stuff.
Right.
It's very broad. So what inspired you to become involved with the newspaper? You've been a staff writer before, and then this semester you've actually been a managing editor. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I had heard of the... Oh, let me not hit the mic. I had heard of the Bell Ringer before. Like I said, my mom went here, and she was an English major, so she was heavy in writing. So like I had heard of the paper, and last semester, or maybe even before that, because I took Professor Balducci's writing class in fall of 2022, and they had talked about doing things with the Bell Ringer then. But I did the Bell Ringer class last fall, and I just really loved it. Like making content for the Bell Ringer and just helping out with that stuff. And I thought it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. So at the end of the semester, we were like, let's do something else. Like, let's keep going. And I've been helping you.
Yeah, you're awesome. So what is a great story that you've been able to cover? What's a memory of a story that's really stuck out to you that was really fun?
So my favorite story I've ever covered was the one that I did with my friend Milo, where he's talking about his journey of becoming a Christian and his trip to the Philippines that he's going up. I just found that story just so rewarding to work with him and get to hear his story and how like his life has been changed. And I really like the stories where you sit down with someone one-on-one and like you get to know their story and like get to talk to them more personally. It just, you get that like strong connection, and just you can write a story about it too, and you get a good connection out of it.
And that's really what it's all about, making those connections, getting to know the people in your community, and kind of sitting down and learning more really about the world around you and all the people who, you know, you wouldn't have known if you've ever talked to them. And so that's one thing that I've really loved about being a student journalist here, is that you meet so many people that you wouldn't have probably met if you haven't.
Yeah.
So what is something that you've learned about journalism as being involved in the Bell Ringer?
Yeah. Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I feel like literally learning how to write and effectively being able to speak to people. I'm not a shy person. But the thought, like if you would have asked me a couple years ago to email somebody random and interview them, I would be like, But now it's like, okay, like that's fine. So I think it's helped build up that confidence and like to be able to go up to people. And then just writing in general. I'm not a natural writer, I don't believe, so it's a skill that I've had to build, and practice makes perfect. Keep writing and improve the skills.
And it definitely it gets better with practice because, like you said, there's so much that you have to kind of like think of. And, I didn't think I was shy either until, you kind of start doing it. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
But it puts you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and it allows you to just get more comfortable, and soon it becomes second nature to you. And then as you're walking around campus, you want to know more, like, hey, that could be a story. Like, we could totally talk to that person or see what their group and what their organization is about.
Yeah.
And especially as a student newspaper, we get to be the eyes and ears of our campus.
Right.
And with the countless amount of news outlets we have here, they can't cover every little thing that's going on campus. So it's nice that we get to be able to do that. And last week, we actually went and kind of looked at old editions of the Bell Ringer.
Yep.
So there were some from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, like all those decades. And it was so fun kind of seeing what they wrote about back then. It was like their version of social media.
Yeah.
Like, they were willing to put it all out there. And
they were that kissing bandit that was running on the baseball field. They were telling all of the drama on that newspaper. I loved it. It was so funny.
And it's really funny, too, how, like, the same problems that people complain about today, like parking, they were complaining about it back then, too. So it's just funny how, in a sense, even though times change, it's like humans, people end up being the same somehow. So what is something that you've learned about your community and your campus since working for the Bell Ringer?
I would say that there's more going on around campus than I initially thought. Like, I know, like, when I came in, it was also an odd time because it was COVID. But at the same time, like, before I started, like, being involved with the Bell Ringer, I didn't know anything that was going on campus. Like, or maybe I didn't even seek it out. I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to go to class. I don't really care. But, like, when you know what is going on, then it's like, oh, that sounds great. Like, that sounds fun. There's always something going on in the JSAC or outside in the breeze, where like the Augusta statue is and stuff. They have stuff going on there, or just like random events happening. So,
yeah, there definitely is always something going on, something new to learn about, new people to meet.
Yeah.
And the benefit too is that I know we focus a lot on Somerville, but there's so much that also goes on in the health science campus as well, and with our athletic programs, covering what they do.
Yeah.
So it's always a ton going on. And even with our city, the city we live in, Augusta, there's so many local events. I think you've written about that as well, like the concerts that go on in town.
Because I didn't know that, like, we had, like, I know we have, like, concerts, but I didn't know, like we have, like, the Augusta Market and, like, the Food Truck Festival. Like, if you're not looking for, like, things to write about, you might not know anything that's going on. Which, I mean, I know there's Facebook and stuff, but,
Yeah, social media, but it can be a hit or miss sometimes. Yeah. So what do you hope students learn about our student newspaper?
Firstly, I hope that they do know about it. I know at Communicon, when we were passing out newspapers, there were some students that didn't know what the Bell Ringer was. So I hope that more people will, like, want to read it, even just looking at our social media or our website. And I want them to know, like, or learn about that it's student-led, like, and other, like, you don't have to be a communication major if you want to participate and, like, write for us and stuff. Like, if you like writing, come on. Like, we'd love to have you.
Definitely. Like you were saying, the importance of knowing that it is student-led and that we do serve as, like, a voice for students, and that we're able to kind of involve all majors. You know, bring whatever talents you have, writing, photography, design, just even story ideas. Like, hey, this is going on in my dorm. Like, can someone write about it? Or even opinions, movie reviews, all that. Just knowing what we as a students at Augusta University think.
Yeah.
So what do you plan to do or hope to do after college?
So right now, my vision is something with like helping produce TV shows or movies. I've always had the idea. This has been like my idea since like 8th grade. I want to apply to work at Warner Brothers and work for them and help make movies and stuff. So I'm still sticking with that. I mean, there's always a chance that something else is going to come up. I'm open. That's a good thing about being young, and like I'm down to move wherever and just start whatever. Really, whatever plan is ahead. Mm-hmm. I'm down.
Awesome. And I know you'll do great. You'll definitely do great. And do you have any questions you want to ask me as the incoming editor?
Yes. So I have 2 questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, what are you going to do?
So I plan to do something in news. I really want to continue news. I've had internships at several places in town.
Yeah.
Mostly with writing, but I did do one at a television station, TV news station, and that was a really awesome opportunity. So being involved in journalism some way.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan to do.
What was your favorite thing about working at the news station?
It was so interesting, I guess, seeing the teamwork,
like
the effort. Like, you sometimes you just see the anchor and the reporter, and you're like, okay. But knowing that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes with, like, the producers, and seeing the idea in the morning where, like, hey, the community is saying that this is a problem, and then going out there and talking to people and then coming back and putting it in a story, like, that was pretty interesting to see. And you see all the hard work and how things have changed. Sometimes you think that there's a camera person, but now there's like robots operating some of the camera in the station. And then the work that for specifically a multimedia journalist, because sometimes it's all them. They have to shoot their footage and get the story and set up their interviews, and it's all one person doing that. So it's really a greater appreciation for local news and kind of just being behind the scenes of what you get to see on TV. So yeah, that was fun.
Well, I know you're gonna do great. You've been I've loved working with you. It's been awesome.
Well, thank you, and it's been great working with you too.
Thank you. My last question is, because you asked me this, I'm gonna ask you this. What do you have, like, a story or a thing that you covered that was like your favorite? I know you have a lot of things you've written, but is there one that like you're like, oh, that was just an awesome time?
Mm-hmm. There's several that come to mind, but I'll pick one. One is when I talked to Dr. Bloodworth. Mm-hmm. He used to be the former president of this university.
Yeah.
And when he retired, he came back. He actually came back to continue teaching because he loved teaching. And so I was able, kind of like how you were saying with your friend Milo, kind of talking to him. Yeah. I was able to speak with him and kind of see, what caused him to love teaching so much, his whole experience, what that was like for him. And so writing that profile and speaking to him was really an amazing opportunity. And, even though he's passed a couple years ago, but it was still nice to know that I kind of got to speak with him and really learn his story.
Yeah.
So that was
awesome. Yeah. All right.
Done with the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thank you so much again, Makenzy, for coming on the show today. And I know you'll do excellent as editor. And I also want to say a huge thank you for everyone to making this possible. It's truly been an honor and a wonderful experience being a student at Augusta University, and I'm excited for what's next. And thank you for listening. Once again, Chiming In is a production of Bellringer Phoenix Media. It is produced at the TVC Lab on the Somerville campus of Augusta University. Jasmine Garcia is the producer and lab coordinator. Alex Gonzalo is the video producer. Comments mentioned are those of the host and panelists, not Augusta University. Be sure to find us at www.aubellringer.com to hear from more guests. This is Rakiyah Lenon, hoping you'll chime in too. Have a wonderful day.